Just can't wait. I have to do this video. I'm not going to wait out the UN for the day. I took the time of reading the released civil case, the more than 400 pages in relation to the civil suit and the complainants against the Epstein crimes committed and that lawsuit. And everybody was worried and wondering about the names released. The witness statements were very important. A lot of information was already there in media and it had been covered, but not witness accounts, not actual names, places, and events, and absolutely who the witnesses are, how many witnesses there were. Now, folks, this is the most critical video I'm probably going to do this year. This morning, I was sick to my stomach. Both ends, and not from a flu, not from COVID, but from the reality of 6 years of work with international law, constitutionalism, and where that has brought me today, especially with the allies of World War II, and where we find the United States of America today. Brutal, sick, disturbing. Now, we all watched a Harvard president, a Haitian woman by the name of Claudine Gay. She's African American. She was forced to resign. Much pressure in the media by big named New Yorkers, fellow Harvard professors whom she put down 2 years ago. And there's more than one, because there's an Epstein and a Weinstein. And there's a whole legacy in other universities, and of course children being taken from all of the states by a wealthy enterprise, child trafficking. And in this document, one such powerful elite that Claudine Gay took out 2 years ago, who's been hammering on her for a month straight in plagiarism, backed up by the wealthiest of American elite Democrats in the state of New York, multi-billionaire Democrats who've soaked Americans for billions and billions, building their glorious wealth by hedging and betting against the American citizens on the government trying to do the right thing by Americans taken advantage of in the financial system. I'm sorry. What I went through this morning made me sick. Out my mouth and out my back end, and I don't mean to make light of it, but it's this, or be gross, but it's this sickness that's befallen the States, and I mean to epic scale. Alan Dershowitz is 85 years old. He's a professor of law and constitutionalism, highly regarded Harvard graduate in law, professor in constitutionalism, something I've studied a great deal of, as a lot of friends and followers know. This guy has been a defense attorney for some of the most prolific cases in American history in the last 30 years. He's represented the largest scumbags known on many trials many people are very aware of. Now, today, there's a lot of individuals like myself in the United States who can read large documents very quickly, go through them very rapidly, and I went through all 400 pages. Alan's name comes up many times by many Epstein employees at various locations of Epstein's homes and holdings in areas where he had underage children. Alan Dershowitz comes up a lot with a lot of witnesses along with the civil suit testimony. We're not talking one person making a statement against another person, he said, she said. We're talking about a he said, she said, with multiple employees of Epstein's backing up what she said against specifically Alan Dershowitz, who's extremely high in the Democrat Party, who's an extremely powerful legal mind in the United States of America. In fact, he's so powerful, this serial pedophile who raped multiple underage children, clearly, and I can say that because it's not just one witness, it's multiple witnesses with no skin in the game, stating that he did this, and multiple witnesses on many occasions, many children, with his best buddy Epstein, with times to Weinstein too. This is huge, guys. It's huge. The media says not a word. They zip their lip. Zip their lip on a known pedophile who's now going to represent Israel through the Mossad, which means this guy's all through the CIA in the Israeli intelligence agency. He's going to represent Israel on the ICJ for Israel's genocide, that all the Democrat insiders who are not the UNSC, to make it clear, they're the National Security for USA advisor. They're representatives from the Biden administration, but don't effectually have any control or say over the United Nations Security Council on behalf of the USA. But Joe Biden has full control of that too. But he's careful not to use that name. We've got two highest ranking federal national Democrats with super strong ties to a serial pedophile. He's getting run down on Twitter right now as we speak. For the first time, even though he has over 250,000 views already this morning, he's got less than 75 likes on his Twitter, because there's enough Americans spreading out what I know and I'm telling you right now, even though apparently there's no great readers of said 400-page document to clearly and explicitly highlight Alan Dershowitz as a high-ranking Democrat, a high rank in the judiciary of the United States, a trainer of the legal system, a defense attorney of the most prolific cases of the wealthiest corrupt American Democrats in the history of the United States in the last 30 years, in a pedophile cabal. That's right, I said it. A pedophile cabal. A real one. Really recorded with real names of real American witnesses. Multiple witnesses, not just a he said, she said. There's half a dozen employee witnesses with no skin in the game, identifying him with multiple underage child girls that he raped over a long period of time. Dozens and dozens of times. Dozens and dozens of girls. He's free walking the streets and has a blank check with the media. Go look him up. He's got media stories all the way up till today. He's on Twitter with a video this morning acting nonchalant. The Prime Minister of Israel names him as the attorney for Israel in the upcoming ICJ court case where Israel's going to defend itself on genocide of over 22,000 dead Palestinians, more than 16,000 women and children. Folks, Joe Biden and his Democrats are completely fascist, completely off the charts in a cabal of pedophiles, the most horrific, sick, and utterly disgusting state of America that we've ever seen. It's there with the highest and most prized billionaires in American history today backing the Democrats, all with ties to all these people, to this guy. They back him up exuberantly, openly. Israel openly does. This is CIA and Mossad. It should make you puke. My great uncle John fought in World War II. He taught all of us when I was very young. He's gone now today. A Canadian war hero, decorated from World War II. He fought in multiple years of World War II, shot 3 times in World War II, went right back to war. A paratrooper. He went across the lines. He was right there all the way to the end of the German war, right inside Germany, all the way up to Hitler's death. Paratrooped in, first in. He saw all the atrocities, all the children atrocities, all of it. And he taught everyone in my family. We all grew up with that knowledge. I've never had a hatred of Jews. But I'll tell you, I'm deeply, deeply disgusted with the Jewish Israel of today and right now in America. Israel, New York, Europe disgusts me. And it made me puke out my mouth and out my rear end this morning. Because all I heard as a child and learned from my decorated great uncle, war hero, Canadian war hero, recognized the world over, and all his stories are now the stories of Israel, New York, and the Democrats today. All these stories, these horrific stories and truths, overlap what is America's government today, what is representing USA on the world stage today, what is Israel as was Nazi Germany then, is Israel today. Horrific, disgusting, gross. Horrific, disgusting, and gross. This is running America. This is at the highest levels of international relations, international law, the judiciary, educational institutions. They dismissed 3 who tried desperately to keep the state power alive, the sovereignty of the U.S., and didn't answer because the law in those states said don't answer. The media made them look terrible. There's many, many politicians involved. Illinois governor, senators, others named, witness statements made, world leaders involved, named, witnessed. This one, not that one. This one, not that one. This happened with this one. David Copperfield, complicit, involved. That's how far this goes. Clearly, was this guy? No. And multiple witnesses? No. But they could sure account for a lot of people and made a lot of testimonies in those 400 pages, made public for everyone. If you take the time to read it, you'll learn. There's many more names I have to go through that I just don't know who they're talking about. I don't know that person. There's many I do know, and many I can say it's not a he said, she said scenario. It's he said, she said, plus a pile of witnesses for one of the complainants, or multiple complainants, depending on the severity and the serial nature of the sicko. Harvard academic professor and high-end judiciary, high-end with some of the most wealthy elite Americans today on the Democrats and in New York, is a serial fucking pedophile. Not once, not twice, but 6 times named, explicitly corroborated. Why is this man running free? Why is he in the news giving news stories? Why is he making videos and they're being shared and published by the media companies? Why is CN running this guy like a hero? Why is Newsweek? Why is anyone else? It makes no sense at all, except for the fact the U.S. government is complicit, compromised, and involved. The U.S. Democrats. This video has to be shared. Do you know how sick, scary, deranged we are in January of 2024 when serial pedophiles, known and published and witnessed by many witnesses, are there published for the world to see, and the media isn't saying a word? We can all read the documents. I know 400 pages is a lot, but it's not. It's nowhere near what I read in books, because I'll tell you, it's like a playwright script where every time people talk, there's quotations and it breaks up the pages. They're written very large. That's how it's written. So in reality, those 400 pages are more like 75 to someone like myself. Many are going through it. Many are hammering on this man right now, who has a huge astronomical following, but yet this morning, less than 100 people like his video. In fact, you can look at the comments mounting as more and more people are running him down as a named and multi-witnessed statement of a serial fucking pedophile. Running USA, leading the judiciary, leading the highest academic institutions, leading the United States government in power today, Democrats, leading Israel today through the Mossad intelligence agency. Folks, this isn't make-believe. This is one of the most purest, real, true videos that has to go out. You, the people, have to choose. I can let everything go, a lot of things go. What I can't let go is the idea that someone in that status of power and that many government officials in the most powerful nation in the world and another nation committing the worst atrocities known since World War II is run by a group of pedophile cabal perverts who rape and destroy financially the people and have no intentions of stopping. Folks, the worst of the worst corruption, absolutely, is a human being in power who thinks it's right and just to rape children. This is real, credible, verifiable, and my most important video I've done to date. As sick and disturbing as it is, I need you all to share it out. It's got to get out there. The more voices, the better. No, he hasn't been convicted. But again, multiple witnesses multiple statements on him taking underage children in Weinstein residence and raping them in rooms. Multiple witness statements. Not a he said, she said solely. A he said, she said, plus backed up by employees with no skin in the game, none whatsoever. He's the most prolifically witnessed pedophile in the whole Epstein case civilly today. He was doing it beyond anybody else in all the documents. Highest in academic standing, massive following, massive connections to multiple billionaires in the United States and world today. Deep ties to Israel, deep ties to the New York elite, deep ties to the American federal government under the Democrats. Sick, twisted, wrong. It's the worst thing USA can be tied to and Democrats today. Worse than all other corruption. Hurting, raping, destroying children. These people need to be stopped. Donald Trump needs to retake the presidency. He needs to win in the 2024 election. All focus to bringing down Joe Biden and his perverted, psychopathic administration has to go down. They're complicit. Israel's lost. It's complicit. It's a sick institution. And there's a lot of billionaire psychos with financial controls involved in all of this. They're destroying America. They're destroying the world. That's my video. Credible, real, and accurate. I wouldn't make it if it wasn't. It's real. Go look at Alan Dershowitz on Twitter. Look at the overwhelming posts on his crimes from people who have read the 400-page document like myself. Israel has him slated to represent their country on genocide against South Africa on the International Court of Justice, the highest court in the world, nation to nation. Scary, real, credible. The worst America's ever been, probably in the history ever published. That's my video. Share, share, share. Do the right thing. Get it out there. Bye now.